We are looking now at the footage taken by NHK helicopter about half an hour ago at Fukushima Daiichi power plant. You can see that smoke is billowing from the power plant, Daiichi power plant. We do not know which reactor it is coming from, but there were explosions coming from number 1, number 3 and number 4 reactors caused by hydrogen from yesterday. But fire was seen this morning on number 4 reactor building. This hydrogen explosion is caused by heat that is rising in the reactors, and it is ignited by oxygen. Water is needed to cool down these reactors, and seawater and some boracic acid to hamper nuclear reactions has been taken. However, workers are unable to approach the pool due to the high radiation levels, and company is studying the possibility of spraying boracic acid from the helicopter to slow nuclear fission. Fukushima Prefecture said there is no sign so far that the fire caused an increase of radiation. That's we have talking about number 4 reactor yesterday. We're waiting for Chief Cabinet Secretary's press conference to begin. Now you're looking at the Prime Minister's office in Tokyo, where Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano's press conference is about to begin. He'll be updating us on the developments at Fukushima power plant. We have been looking at smoke billowing from Fukushima number 1 power plant. We don't know, we haven't got any information as to which reactor it is coming from. And we are waiting for all the information and data as the story develops. This footage you're looking at was taken about half an hour ago by NHK helicopter flying about 30 kilometers away from the plant. You can see that white smoke is billowing. We do not know whether it was ignited by fire or if it was a hydrogen explosion caused by heat in the reactor. We are right now waiting for press conference to begin by Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano to update us on the developments at Fukushima power plant. An NHK helicopter has been taking footage showing what appears to be white smoke billowing from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The footage was taken around, this footage you can see is taken at around 30 minutes ago, from 30 kilometers from the nuclear power plant. NHK helicopter was positioned more than 30 kilometers from the nuclear power plant. And officials at Tokyo Electric Power Company say they cannot confirm, but judging from the footage, it could have been coming from a reactor, but which reactor we have no information of as yet. They say it might have been water vapor, steam as a hydrogen explosion, but they will make detailed inspections. Officials quote workers at the site as saying that they cannot go outside to inspect it. Now, the Japanese government has raised the permissible level of radiation exposure for workers at the affected nuclear plant. The present rules do not allow workers to approach the storage pool in the number 4 reactor building because of the high radiation readings. The Health Ministry announced the revision on Wednesday. The previous radiation limit has been raised 2.5 times to 250 millisieverts. The ministry says this is still lower than the international limit of 500 millisieverts. The measure was adopted to give staff at the Daiichi plant enough time to take measures that will cool the reactors. Experts say exposure to radiation above 250 millisieverts can cause acute health problems, including a temporary drop in the number of white blood cells. The ministry says it reached the decision after fully consulting with experts on possible health effects. Japanese government has urged people living between 20 and 30 kilometers from the plant to stay inside their homes or workplaces. The Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency says the evacuation of people within 20 kilometers of the plant had been completed by Tuesday afternoon.